our Sombra ban out, but we still should have been able to play around that.
Right.
And
We'll
then
talk.
we went to
Yeah.
Rabattra Cop and just kind of strong armed them
Right.
to win.
We'll definitely get into micro here. I mean, it's very rare you play against Sombra comps a lot, so we'll see what they do and what you can do about it. Often, like sometimes what Sombra comps will do in the past, like I don't know, Malgo Sombra for example, they would heavily like disable your front line. In which case, you would just play distance, sort of bait the Malgus somewhere in, and then just play really far away. So they're playing that frontline kind of style and playing to disable you. Just play really, really slowly and try and take angles around them because Sombra will be stacked and will have no map control anyways. If they're going through your backline, well, that should be no issue either, really. You can just walk forward, push forward. You're running Brig Honor against Sombra, so there should be no concern there about, her damage. All she'll be looking to do if she's going behind you is farm EMP. And of course, EMP itself we can talk about with like basing and ultimates and stuff like that as well about outplaying EMP. But this map should be interesting to go through, considering that you just told me that you're significantly high skilled in this team, so there's probably going to be a bunch of micro here. But also I assume like there'll be fundamental flaws with how you're timing things, and people are going to get picked off here or there. So we'll
Yeah,
see how this pans out.
probably. We're
But
like 4-2, and they, I believe, are like 3-6.
wow, okay.
So
I
yeah,
mean, I know, like, I've heard of teams in the past that are like, the whole was sort of saying the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Like, of course, like a 3-6 team should be able to punch up to like a 4K team if they're playing very well. But yeah, that's a 600 SR gap, which is quite huge. But we'll see how it pans out here. Okay, so just playing really slowly. Okay, we're just pushing cart. Fine. Sure. Okay. Sure. Okay, so like during that engage there, is my Sojin peeking and is my Genji doing anything? So let's see what can my Soj see. Not terrible, not bad. Right, maybe I prefer you like swinging wide over here maybe and getting more space for it. But like you can kind of see what I mean. Where like if there's Sombras like stacked on top of your ball and trying to disable your ball, that should give your Genji and your Soj plenty of space to actually carry and start doing stuff. Of course, you can see your Brig Honor starting to walk up here too, which is more than reasonable to do here as well to try and get Inspire up. But I'm really looking at the value that your Genji Sombra are getting here because if your ball's drawing away like 5 trillion people, then he clearly needs like that needs to be rewarded or that needs to be traded off of from your Genji and your Soj. So your Soj isn't taking that aggressive of an angle, maybe because of where you're playing at the beginning and you're a little bit scared to rotate. Don't quite know why. And your Genji is nowhere to be seen, or is hardly doing anything. So my ball's currently hacked right now, and only now we've got to go on a good angle, right? So I think this is slightly mistimed because your ball's currently half HP getting out. So it's a little bit mistimed, but I'm not gonna cry about it too much. But like, of course, when your ball's going in, I want the dash coming through and then the deflect coming out too. Your honor brick can see you here as well. So let me see it from Historic's POV, because maybe this can tell us a few things. Okay. Okay, so like already what's the issue?
front to backing a little bit, coming from
Yeah,
an angle where
your
they can
front to
easily see me.
backing. Exactly, right? Like this is extremely telegraphed, and literally, you probably should die for this. I'm not gonna lie. Like the fact that you're going straight through a Diva and a Brig and an Ana, and Sombra hasn't been cleared to your left, is a serious problem. So, How might I phrase this? How can we force out Sombra here, or do we need to force out Sombra here?
I guess I can not go for the hit and make her come drop for me. I can't really think of another way to force her out at this point because she's gonna just translocate away if I like go up
Okay.
and try to fight her. And that's if I've even scouted her. I don't know if I even know that she's there. Is she invis right now?
Honestly, I'm surprised that you don't know that she's there because she's like if I zoom out or back up, like she's shooting you, like she's here.
Oh,
So
okay.
like, yeah, she's here, and she gets pinged here as well by your team. Still shooting you. Has not thrown invis, pinged. Like you should absolutely know
No,
she's
I'm
there.
just
Um,
ignoring it then. I know she's there, but
yeah,
I'm not actually registering, doing anything with that information.
right. We're kind of being a little bit Pepega here. So there's a few things we can do, right? We can either like ignore the Sombra Hero's ball, keep forcing cart, and then use the range of our Sojin and like Genji and play super slow. That's fine. You can do that. You can also again wait until you force cut underneath and then swing behind. That in that way your pathing is significantly less telegraphed, and you're more than likely gonna be fine. Like it's gonna be way harder for Honor to sleep you. You're way more tricky to sort of sleep dart and get stuns off of. So that's another option you can have there as well. But I think the basic really the basic thing here is give your Genji and your Soj time to clear this fucking Sombra. Like the Sombra should not be here at all really. You can again 2v1 the Sombra, maybe your Genji dashes up here, or again he just pokes, that's fine as well. Maybe again your like your Genji can even like zone out this sort of area here while you just swap Sombra and force her out. That's fine as well. Again, classic sort of retake theory, where like one of you, either your Bull, your Genji, in this case your Genji, will zone away 4 people, and then you just turn and burn this character, and then you just force out this person. You get a bunch of space for it. You can get cart push as well, and you'll be relatively fine. So that's kind of the main thing that I'm seeing here is that I want this person cleared in some kind of way. We can zone off backline. Hell, I don't even mind you doing this, right? Like you can like do this kind of thing where you can zone off and then the Genji can dash too. That's fine as well because you're disrupting hack. So either way, it's fine. I just want this person to leave. It's kind of the end the end point basically is what I want. Is for that person to leave. And so we're doing a very NA thing, which is we see the backline, we dive the backline. Which is very I guess blunt force macro, we'll say. Okay. All right. That cycle isn't terrible, like no one dies there, but of course like they still keeps a decent amount of space themselves, so it's not particularly ideal. Oh, my honor's really low, gets naded. Genji's really low too. We can pack down, we'll be fine with forcing cards. You can force out Sombra, nice, good micro. Get the kill, nice. Okay, so everything's going well. So like, the enemy team right now are in shambles because their brig is split off from their honor, and you just killed their Sombra somehow, some way. She fucks up a chance case somehow, some way, and this fight should be really, really easy. But hopefully, hopefully it is, right? So like, after you kill Sombra here, what are the options that we have as a team? What can we do? Well, I'll start by saying what should be called right now. What should I be hearing in the comms right now if I'm hearing this game live in this moment?
Probably that the diva is pushed up forward because I've already communicated
Right,
that
right.
I have Brig on cart with
So
me.
exactly, right. So you might the call there might be to clear diva, or who else is playing aggressively on the enemy team too?
The Ash is pushed up really far.
Right? So then the call might be to clear Ash, right? So you can again this if you want to minimize trades, this is how I would do it. You just 3-2-1 dive this Ash. You don't even need to 3-2-1 it to be honest. You can just swing around high ground, do some again. You'll figure out the micro. You can just hit hook on here and then go to Ash. You can fireball up and then go to Ash. That's fine as well. I don't really care how you do it. Either way, this person's sort of bodyguarding your entire team. But of course, they're fully isolated. So you can just 3-2-1 dive them and she'll die immediately because Brig's not going to pack them in time. Realistically. So that person needs to be harder cleared here. In terms of tempo, what's the pace of how we should play?
I want to go fast because we have a pick, but really nobody except for Genji can play fast.
Right? So you want to amp up the aggression, but still do it in a disciplined way. And I have to tell teams this all the time because I don't know how this fight's gonna look. But what I'm worried about, what I should say rather, is you guys get traded out here. You guys get way too aggro. You start front to back against Brick, who can live against you for a very long time, mind you, if they land all their CDs correctly. And this person doesn't get cleared for a long time, or someone on your team gets traded in some kind of way. So we'll see what happens here. Okay. Okay, they come back. Okay, so their entire team come back because you're dueling Brig. Right, fine, I suppose. So your team get a ton of space for it. Hopefully you don't die for it, though. Okay. Okay, the answer there might be a maybe. We'll go back to your POV here. Okay. Hang on, I want to see how long you start dueling this Brig for. Because this looks tunnel vision. This looks very tunnel vision-esque to me.
Yeah, I did tunnel vision her.
Alright, so from 123... We miss Pile Driver. We get whip shots. Yeah, 125. You've done, I think, 0 damage to Brig in about 5 seconds of time. So I would leave this person alone. This person's not very killable, and as a result, you're hard committing for no reason. And I think I've talked to you about this beforehand about the blurred lines between soft versus hard engaging, where this you're kind of soft engaging the brick. You're just dueling for space. Really, that's all this really is. And you cross that line to hard engaging and going into their territory where the thieves start thrown onto you for basically no reason. Like, there's no reason to go on the brig here. Like, she's full HP, you're half HP, D.Va's shooting you from behind, and you've done no damage to this character. You've also got no power driver too. So you've got no HP, you've got no CDs, and you're down numbers too because D.Va's flying onto you. So there's literally no reason to do this. And against a better team, you will die here. Like, for sure. Even with adaptive shields, you will die there 100%. So, very unfortunate, right? So it means that you waste a lot of time here. Whereas that time could have been used to punish this person who's stuck on the high ground for some dumbass reason, right? Like, this person should be dead in a good team environment. But they're not. Now, I don't know if you guys should be able to call this, right? Again, you should be able to see this. Let me see here. You guys should know, 100% you guys should know there's a fucking honor alone up there. For sure. Like, again, just dueling, right? Fine. Getting covered to reload. Ash on high ground, right? Rich cart a little bit. Okay, sure. No one knows. Okay, I'm actually surprised that no one knows that there's an honor here. And I'm also shocked at how slow our Sojourn is. Like, we're really far away. We just killed this Sombra. Why are we... Oh my word. We can't see anything. Like, we're so far away. Push up here. You're allowed to push up here, right? You can even power slide over here if you really need to. And then bait the enemy, the enemy D.Va to fly onto you if you're still on high grounds. Like, we're playing really, really, really passive for no reason here. So I guess, like, my main questions have become... Where should our backlane be moving to, basically? After... Get up here a little bit. It's after D.Va leaves.
Bull, you want to answer that? Or Jar? Someone from the back line?
Well, I wasn't playing this map, but they should be moving up onto the high ground, and trying to take up that space, force that Ashe out, and get set up for the next fight.
Right, so, like, let me see where our backline play. So, you whip your Ash away, you kite back, you play fairly slowly. My soldier's really miles away. Hopefully this person dies, is what I'm gonna say. Hopefully that person dies. Okay, we shoot them a little bit. My Genji's still on low grounds. Okay. Okay. Now, usually it's fine for your Genji to stay cut, and then your Bull can never do stuff, right? Your tank can do everything in the game, basically. So it's a little bit unorthodox to have your I guess, tanks to push the cart perma. But here, in this situation, I think it's fine, because I don't know, this person should not be on cart. Like, or at least, my general point here being is, I don't want both of you on low ground, is my main concern. Because now you can't push up here, you can barely push up here, and you can't push up on this next high ground here too, because you're just pushing cart and staying low ground the entire time. Like, I want someone playing high ground here. So, I guess, to your Genji, if he's here, I don't see if he's here or not, I don't know. But why go
Genji's
low
here.
grounds? Okay, yeah, why go low grounds?
Why go low ground?
Right,
Uh,
yeah.
Oh, they just told me to push cart.
Right,
Team
so
did.
like, so I'm not sure who specifically told you to do that, which is a fine call to make, right? But like, your ball was just here a second ago, and the reason why he's not here is because he's tunneled onto a brick for some reason. So what I'm seeing is basically a domino effect of mistakes here, where we're not pushing cart because my ball's tunneled, because we're not pushing cart, my Genji goes low grounds, and because my Genji's on low ground, we can't clear solo Arno and heights. So it's the big dominoes there that's going on. Now, again, I don't mind if it's the other way around. I don't mind if it's your ball swinging around like this, and then you can push cart. That's fine as well. You can drop down, and your ball can do like a swing, a 360 swing, and go for on. And that's fine too. I actually don't mind you going low gun there because of it, right? But one of those issues needs to be fixed. Either your ball stops tunneling, and we call this honor on high ground, and we go for this honor, or other way around. My ball can stay low gun here and push carts, and whereas my Genji can actually go in and push this honor on high ground because this person can't live. And now my backline is split because, oh shit, there's a honor on high ground, but my ball's really low. So yeah, that's a sticky one. The fact that that honor lives is insane. That's crazy. Okay, I think it's kind of feeding, sure. I would say, like, as a general rule of thumb for people here, even generally, if you see D.Va use her boosters, that is a massive, massive visual cue for how you want to position. So what I mean by that is, if you shoot D.Va right now, maybe, for example, she'll fly to her Ashe, right? If she flies to her Ashe, that means that she can't peel for her backline. So then, on Bull or Genji or whatever, on Sojin maybe, you can start taking a more aggressive angle that threatens their backline a little bit more. So be really attentive to how the D.Va uses boosters a lot of the time. Because, again, the way D.Va's kit is designed is you have a big ass circle around you, like a 10-meter radius, and you can, anyone that lives in that 10-meter radius basically lives. If this person stacks on a single target, you can't really kill them. I mean, there's some exceptions to the rule there. But boosters are really, really important because you just play to the opposite win condition after D.Va uses boosters. So if she boosters onto her Ashe, then you can ignore Ashe and go backline because she can't peel for a backline because she already uses boosters. Conversely, same thing as well. Right? If she uses boosters on her Brigana, then you can go for the Ashe, right? Something like that. Something that's very important to note with playing the D.Va comps in general. But yeah. Okay, right now, if she's sucking on a backline, you can play like again like these super. This is a really nice angle here. You can just play these really wide angles because they currently have no space. So this is also again fine to do against D.Va. If she's bunkering on a backline, basically, you can just take angles around her. But yeah, okay, all right. Okay, so like, okay, I'm gonna play it here a little bit more before I say anything. But I've already a few slight concerns. So on no sleep dark because my ball got slept. Gets hacked in. Okay, our ball gets naded. Our ball is 1 HP. Okay. Okay, this actually, in theory, this isn't that bad, right? My ball creates and zones off a ton of space, which allows my Genji to go on Ashe, who split, and effectively do a very scuffed version of a turn and burn, right? We zone 4 people, that allows us to go on 1 person. So it's micro that I'm really, really worried about here, because what you're doing here as a team is fine. So let's see this engage again. Okay, we get hacked, right? So how might you want to approach this differently in terms of you going for backline here?
I could just go through the doorway to my right
Yeah, I mean that's obvious.
to go
That's the
into
most obvious
servers.
thing. You know, like you just LOS, you can move it away from Sombra. Like you haven't got to like you don't need to do this complicated thing of like, oh, I'm gonna play cart. I'm gonna bait that Sombra. I'm gonna say to my team, guys, shoot Sombra, force translocate, and then I can go in. Like you can do that, but you don't need to, right? You can just like this is just pathing. It's just very, very simple pathing. You get a very easy roll through. You can even go to the Mega if you really want to. You can roll through. You can even catch the Ashe in the meantime too if you really want to. And then again, you just live Palmer. Like it's that simple. So like it's that simple pathing that makes it way trickier to shut down your dive because this is the second time that we've seen somebody hack you because your dive is already telegraphed and you almost die for it basically, right? And I'm very shocked you again. It looks like you live. And I'm very shocked. How low do you get to? 102, 80, 78, 38. Yeah, 38 HP, right? Like, that is really bad, obviously, right? And you might die, you probably are going to die here. But the good news is that she forced boosters, right? You forced boosters, right? Which means that their backline are under threats. And considering your Genji just killed their Ashe too, this is also, again, a nice timing to go on their backline. But it's unfortunate because your Genji's still taking a 1v2, and your ball is getting mocked by a D.Va entirely. So, this is really not great, to put it short. What could our backline? So let me look at our break here. See if it's reasonable. Suggest what I'm about to suggest. Okay, pack's not. Okay, we're packing. Okay, we're packing an anti-ball here. Maybe the last one's reasonable because he's the anti's about to wear off, but the first two were not. Borrowing that though. Yeah, right. So like, what could you call her as big?
Unfortunately, our brig player is not here in this call.
Fortunately, they are dead. Hashtag unfortunate. But the call that's really been made here is to push,
Should they
and you to drop, right? Like, and generally, your main support will be the one to call that. Now, what are the triggers or the visual cues that tell you dropping here is appropriate? There are a few things that tell you that dropping here is appropriate.
D.Va use boosters and the backline's anti.
And the ant, yeah.
Right, so those are the two major ones. What else? There's a third one too.
Ashe's dad and Genji's in position behind, so it'd be a pinch.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, right. So normally, again, I'm pretty sure I've given this to Stoics before, but normally, again, I have triggers here. I should put that. I'll put that on blue. Why not? And there's 5 ones that I normally have. HP. I mean, that's obvious, right? CDs, cooldowns. Again, obvious. They just burned everything on their ball, so they have no CDs. Positioning. Again, your backline's close. backline is close, and your Genji is in a good position. And also your Diva is out of position, which links into the cooldown too, and links into this because Diva no boosters, Diva no B. And then that's pretty much the three big ones here. Ults come into it too, but of course this is first fight or coming into the second fight here, so ults aren't going to be a factor. And last one is numbers. Here that should be fairly obvious too. If all of you drop, you just 4v2 their backline and you just collapse onto them immediately. So you've got a ton of things saying to you here. Drop. We can push this and destroy their backline. But unfortunately, your Brig isn't going to call that. Now, this stuff is really hard to call and when you're playing the game itself because you don't want to make the wrong call and jeopardize your team for like rotating out an open space like this. But no one can punish you here. Again, Diva no boosters and there's a Sombra on. Like you can clear Sombra very easily. She's got no mobility, so you can clear her and force up transfer very easily if you're really that scared about it. And if you didn't waste packs, then of course you can just pack anyone who gets hacked or virused or whatever. But the point here being is that this is again a big missed opportunity your backline don't see. And of course when you're playing Breaker as well, this was really important back in Briggs and comps in like 2021. It's really important to know when to walk, and normally it'll be in the middle of a fight, and this is exactly why, because there'll be certain triggers that will be in the game as I've kind of gone through that will tell you to drop down and walk. Now of course you can be calling that too. But generally, because Brig's not a mechanical hero, your Brig will be the main one calling it. But of course, that responsibility is shifted onto you guys too, because if you guys know when to drop and you guys can see, and then see the visual cues that tell you to drop, then by all means you should be calling it too. But yeah,
Yeah, I could have done that.
not dropping there is a bit of a missed opportunity. And Genji might get cooked. He's getting cooked. He's getting cooked.
He was so annoyed with that too. I remember.
You know, and honestly, I would be if I was like Genji, I would be too. Like, why is my
think
backline
I
not pushing
was
in on
even
two anti-supports when the Diva's got no
itching to
boosters and is in fucking Narnia? You know,
dive as well,
like,
but
why would you not push that? It's kind of the question though.
I didn't
I think
it
again,
was
fear is probably
prudent.
the answer, or nerves. Because you guys, again, when I asked that question,
Nerves,
like,
yeah.
you already knew, you know, like, you already knew that, okay, Genji's in position, Diva no boosters, on a big anti, right? Like, it's obvious when you look back at it, but you need to have the balls to be able to call it out in the game itself. Especially in an official match, mind you. Okay. We'll see here. Okay. We have Nano, let me see, also Nano, and then Bomb, EMP, whatever, right? So, like, I don't think, like, maybe you guys can be a little bit generous here and say, like, maybe you expect them to have EMP here. I think that's maybe fine. But considering that, again, the Sombra died first fight initially, and you can hold track by pressing tab, I don't think she has it right now. I think, again, in these sort of, like, first initial fights, I think it's reasonable to sort of be more accurate with your tracking and decide whether someone's 70 to 80 to their ultimates. If they got 70 to 80 to it, you either need to go first and before they get their ults up in time, or be really quick in farming up your Nano and your Brig up really quickly. Otherwise, then of course they're gonna get EMP in time. Again, I think last fight sort of snowballed into that, but we'll see how this fight pans out and see things that you guys could have done about this. Okay. Okay. Okay, we force our Diva, sure. Okay, fine, we got trigger to go in, I don't mind that. We nano our Genji, sure. Okay. Oh, I don't like this. This is so expensive. We've already won the fight. Like, you basically won the fight already. The initial setup's good. I think your Genji's like not getting forced out. Like, he's drawing some attention away, right? Like, I don't mind. I don't really like getting deflect forced out here, right? I would just poke and stay here, right? Is all I'd say. Keep this position here, and actually, I would time it for when your ball goes in with the nade. So timing is like fairly okay because your ball and nade are out of time, but your Genji's a little bit early. So in fact, I can see here, right? Like, you get look like this. Yeah, this is classic, right? Like, your Genji is out while your ball is in with nade, right? So of course I want my Genji going in here with a nano. That would be quite nice. Or a blade. Either one's fine. But yeah, I'm not a massive fan of the timing here. And again, it's not even staging, it's just timing. That's all it really is. And your mindset on the character. Like you're getting, you're really wide here, wow. Okay, if you're gonna poke for this, like, at least do it from here. Do not swing out on the open like this, because you can already see the backline from here anyways. So there's really no reason to do this. So this is bad cover usage. And that gets you dynamite. And deflect will start too. I've got a saying as well, Bad positioning will force bad cooldowns. So of course, if you're out in open space, you're gonna get your deflect forced out, obviously. Whereas if you're playing cover, that's not gonna be the case. You can be a bit tricky with your walk line, for example. So that's just again bad timing there, and being undisciplined with how you're using the cover, which gets your CDs forced out really early. That's super preventable. And then honestly, you can just now you just nano Genji, right? And then he just dashes in and kills like 5 people. Don't even need blade with it, right? You don't even need the blade because the anti's good itself. But yeah, big mistiming there. And that's not even communicational. That's literally just. I mean, it could be right. So like, what could you be calling here? Who could be calling what for this dive itself to make sure the timing is a little bit synced up with the Genji?
I could have said I'm poking right side.
Yeah, right. What else could your boss be saying?
I could be 3-2-1ing off my grapple.
Yeah, right. So like you can just
Well,
say
then a
like
3-2-1
play
by
slow.
nade.
I'm about to go in, or like you can say like yeah 3-2-1's fine as well, right? 3-2-1 is a little bit outdated because things can change in that 3-2-1 cycle, but it's more than fine for 99% of teams anyways. And frankly, even top teams do it still. So like it's fine to do. But yeah, just anything that gets your Genji on board with your ball, right? So I think they're saying that you're poking, you're prodding out, you're posturing. That's fine to do. And then of course your ball will be the big attention draw with the big fat anti, and then everyone's gonna look at your fucking ball, and then your Genji dashes in and kills like 5 people at once. So again, this is really like dive basics. That we're not getting through here. Okay, I'm sure you guys still win the fight though because they are a 3-6. Yeah. I really don't like the Nano Blade. The Nano itself was already a little bit egregious. Because again, your Genji was mistimed, right? But I think just a single Nano that fight would have been more than fine. You don't need Blade for it.
Yeah, it was an
And now, next
annoying
fight,
thing.
they're gonna have everything. And you're gonna have fuck all.
I got
So you're gonna
annoyed
have to-
that Genji was
Ooh, dude,
1
Dashi
HP, and
might
I
that
wanted to
as
save him.
well. Oh, that's like...
I didn't want them to touch, so
Yeah,
I just
I mean,
mined first.
Yeah, I don't blame you, but like it's not like how do I say it? If your team's playing a better setup here, then you don't have to necessarily mind this, right? So what I mean by that is like if your Genji's forcing cart, your Brig should not be here anyways. Like if a Brig's on like playing high ground here, like how the fuck are they gonna get a good EMP? They're just not, right? Like how are they gonna get a good rally? They're just not. How are they gonna get a good dive? They're just not because your team's set up on high ground. So I wouldn't really be concerned about it. I would only use ultimates in response to them, really, to be honest. Because now we've just dumped 3 ultimates for like fuck all. Over first point at least, right? But still not great because it's gonna impact you guys on second point. But how far do you guys push it? Let me just.
We
have a-
push to third, and then they hold us underneath the bridge.
Right. Okay. All right, we'll see here.
And then that's when they manage to complete the map on third and win.
Okay, so like now, what should it be going through everyone's head right now? Every single person.
Force cart as far as you can and get everybody out stage.
Yeah.
Sure,
just
right?
getting
High ground,
rotated.
shuttle control.
What's how are you going? How is the most likely way you're gonna lose the next fights?
High ground control.
EMP.
EMP, right? So like you need to find a way to bait or force out EMP really early, or you force out Sombra, you force that, you force it to go invis or whatever the case may be, and then you have your own timing for your own dive cycle. So I need maximum scouting, I need my backline on high grounds, I need distance as much distance as possible, and I also need so I don't say backline, yeah, backline on high ground, right? I thought. Yeah, so Genji should be pushing cart here, and I need as much distance away from the dive crew as possible because that EMP is gonna hit like a truck, if you guys are close to it. And if Briggs really splits, okay, we're moving, we're chilling. Okay, I'm still like a little bit like worried here, right? Hopefully, okay, you forced it somewhere chance get, or you saw it at least, so hopefully you can like call it out maybe. Okay.
Yeah, I called
Okay.
that there.
We all saw it and
Sure.
heard it, though, I think.
And then also
Right, but like
Bush, so-
you need to be really tricky about how you play this because all you're doing is baiting Sombra and Diva aggression. That's all you're really doing. And then once they pull the trigger to go on your backline, then you can start chasing their tail. Then you can start zoning their backline, or if their backline, again, if they're Brig Honor, like this is a great case, right? If these guys, this person and this person, have 0 LOS to their dive, then you can ignore their backline. Then you can just force out their Sombra. That's fine to do as well. So get ready to do either option, right? Either zone their backline or just force out this person. But you need to be really, really tricky about this, because if you get forced out, then you lose all the space, this person gets free setup, and then your backline just dies. So what you're doing here, again, this is, you need to play this like really, really slow almost. After that pole driver, like I think it's okay to do. I would have just popped out and shot the Sombra, because let's be real, she's not gonna translocate in the fucking catwalk in front of your backline. I would have shot the Sombra, but regardless, right? After the pole driver, grapple up and get to the airship as fast as you can. Be as hard as possible to force out, because that's gonna be necessary if you want to force out the Sombra later on during the dive, because you can't get forced out. Hack scary. Ah, we're at 100 HP, and we're now on top of our backline, and now we're all EMP'd. So like, the only saving grace of this dive is that their backline might not be able to see this. Yes, in fact, the backline cannot see shit. So that's the only saving grace, is that they fuck up. Because frankly, an Ashe should be here tossing a big ass dynamite down this corridor, and Ana should be here tossing a big ass nade onto 3 supports right now, but they're not, because they're 3-6. But you getting forced out there is really like, again, it's not great, because again, it's really preventable is my point, because you could have just grappled into high ground and airship and avoided that entirely, and literally just punished the Sombra during this just terrible EMP. But yeah, really, really unfortunate. Hopefully no one dies to that bullshit. Okay, no one is dying to that bullshit, thank God. Okay, we might still die to it though. Whoa! Okay, so that's honestly, that's just, what do you call it? Dominoes effect from you getting forced out really early. And you're not quite knowing how to play into Sombra. Especially with EMP. Because again, her only goal is to connect onto backline really, right? Or, if you're really, really split, she'll solo EMP you. So of course you don't want to do either, right? But the most important thing to learn when you're playing the ball into Sombra is, how can I play a position that makes it extremely hard and extremely dangerous, extremely costly, extremely risky for someone to come and force me out, especially when she's got EMP. Same thing when you're playing Ramatra into May with the perk. It's the most important thing. And then you just got forced out and just died by front to backing a diva. So, not particularly great. We can see other bits of micro here that go into this room here. In fairness, pop 3 ultimates here, so, you know, take it with a grain of salt. Because you guys can't live everything. Let me see your break here. Okay. Sure, right, fine. Hang on, let me see your honor here, maybe. Honor. Okay, so we need our Brig, who's in rally. I guess it's fine because like she was low HP beforehand, so I can live with this. Sure. Bob's behind you. That's not much you can do about that. Yeah, it is what it is.
I didn't know that the Bob was behind
But yeah,
either.
the fact that like no one, like the fact that our ball died there and did basically nothing that entire fight is like a really big concern, because we didn't force out Sombra really that early. We didn't zone the Ashe entirely really. And look at the kill feed. You know, like this is entirely Ashe dominance basically. So yeah, been unfortunate. Okay, good news though. They used the ults. We used one. So hopefully next fight can be a little bit more eventful. Okay. I will be pushing car. My Brig is really pushed up. Whoa. Okay, what are we doing? Like, this is... Like, holy crap. Okay, so we see our Sojourn. Okay. Okay, we have zero awareness of what my backline's at. We missed the whip shot too. Oh my days. Yeah, we just have no idea where on is at. Again, if you're Briggs in VC, I would be telling them, you need to call the rotation. Call it. Say words, right? And if your Ana can't walk for some reason, I don't know why she couldn't walk here, because they're not running any hit scans anymore, and they're not really running. They can't punish you on this rotate really. So like, I don't know why you couldn't rotate here. But if your Ana can't rotate for some reason, then say that of course, right? But like, I'm not sure if you guys remember, but was this rotation by your Brig silence? Like, did they call anything? Was anything vocal here basically?
No, I think the comms were from, like, I was setting up how the next fight was going to go. They probably were moving forward based off of the fact that I said I was pushing cart and that we needed to retake control of this bridge. Like, they're probably going off of what is being said by other people and not saying that they're doing right now.
Like, your Brig needs, like... It's interesting because your Brig, for some reason, doesn't have confidence to be able to push
They were too
a
far.
fight where there's
But I
like
wasn't
three,
there
four
yet.
triggers that you all like clearly identify and
No.
clearly know, right?
Our
But
brig is pretty amicable when it comes to like accommodating other people on the team. That's how they typically play. Usually
right,
the
right.
people calling the plays will be me, or our Genji, and then sometimes our Ana.
Sometimes,
Mm.
yeah,
So maybe
sometimes he doesn't.
for your team, right?
L-
Maybe it's your
Like,
honor that wants to call it.
picks a few
Um,
times.
again,
Listen,
I
but
think that's fine. I don't see like the reason why it's a bit dodgy to do is because your honor is obviously less squishy, sorry, more squishy than your brig. So if she's the one bossing your brig around, then it becomes a bit like of a tug of war basically. With okay, maybe my brig wants to walk up and get inspired, and she wants to brawl, right? She wants to get inspired up, but my Ana can't walk up. So like, there's a bit of a tug of war there. And so that's why your brig's like naturally going to walk anyways. So you might as well just dispose that to your brig. Same thing with your Lucio. But yeah, it's fine for your honor to call it and call rotations. If your brig's not that vocal and it's just easy to do, then yeah, try out on scrims, right? Because
yeah,
someone needs to be calling rotations, and I can't let this happen. Like this is like, I mean, it happens. To be honest, it happens all the time in Masters. To be honest, but like I don't like, at this level of play, it's not that. It's not that uncommon, but again, it's like this. I've seen this stuff since like 2020. Like I've seen this stuff for like years, and it's really basic. Backline splits. And it's super. That's not even macro. That's just like your brig just it has no idea where your honor's at, and your honor's not calling for your brig to pull back. So it's like, of course someone's gonna die down the rotates. But yeah. And frankly, to be honest, right, like it's that kind of stuff that like you said at the beginning we need to work on micro. It's that stuff, because we have just wasted 20 seconds now. Like we just wasted time for something that's like really preventable. And this level of play, even in like face of masters, to be honest, like that stuff is like really important to nail down. Um, but yeah, hopefully no one gets taken out here. Please, for the love of God. Also, if my Genji gets like destroyed, oh, it's not looking good, bruv. Okay, thank
bro.
God. Okay, we're fine. Okay,
Okay,
we're chilling.
we
We're
got out
pushing for space
alive.
now, so we're okay. How could we approach the next fight? So, like, what can my ball do, and then what can my backline do? But again, very basic stuff.
I think we were trying to nano OC for like to use ults this
Okay,
fight,
okay. What?
and I'm pretty sure what I do is try to force these support CDs and shuttle.
Right. So, what might stop a nano OC?
Defense
Diva
matrix.
Matrix.
Just
Defense
diva.
matrix, right? And I'm seeing that right now on my screen right now. I can't lie. So I'm gonna need this person to fuck off, to put it lightly, and to move away. How do we do that? What are some
Put
ways of
pressure,
us doing that?
put pressure on some of the squishies. Force her to peel.
Yeah,
Sure,
that's the
right?
best way
So
to do it, I
so
think.
we can let me just well we'll use this wall, right? So we can say put pressure on squishies, pressure on what squishies in particular?
Anna and Brig are probably the best ones, but from that angle, apparently they were in shuttle, so those aren't a good one.
Right, right, right.
So, because my original angle, I thought that they were on the ground, but if they're in the shuttle, then
Mm.
the better option is just force Diva out by dealing direct pressure to her.
Sure, right. So again, that's fine to do. So you can just AFK here, shoot Diva. That's fine and get another angle. That's fine. I will say in
Over the
lower
box, we
damage
can go for
comps.
the Sombra or the Echo.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, right? So like, I was gonna say like in low damage comps, like maybe if you're running like I don't know, double hit scan's not a great comp.
Tracer.
Farah in some Tracer, yeah, Tracer, right? Or even Sombra here yourself, because Sombra you can disable Diva really easily. But like some sort of tank that or DPS line that allows to like break through the tank very easily, then yeah, you can just destroy the tank, she'll fuck off, and then you get space like that. It's a very very easy win con to do in high damage comps. But yeah, conversely, you can also just 2v1 the Sombra, and then Diva might have to come back and peel. Or again, you can do that to Echo. So right, so you can put pressure on the split squishies, is what I'll quantify as. Not just any squishies, but squishies that are split from Diva. What's another way? What's another thing you guys can do here as well?
Point pressure.
Exactly, right?
Uh,
So maybe this again, if you come point here and your brig just hard pockets to whoever's touching point, then the diva might feel obliged or might feel a need to drop down on cards. Now, if you combine some of these things, right? So maybe our Genji comes over like this, our brig pockets the Genji, right? And then while they're doing that, our ball rolls over like this, and dual Sombra, or just shoots at the fucking Sombra with guns or whatever, or like scout Sombra, whatever the case may be. Hell, it doesn't. You don't even need to necessarily scout Sombra if she's invisible, right? Maybe you just go in bull form and then hide in this little stairway over here, and then shoot Ana from behind. That
Shoot
could
the
work,
Ana.
right? That could definitely work. The whole point being here is that your mindset is down to attention. You're drawing some attention away from Diva. You're making it hard for Diva to make a choice. Do I go for the Soch? Do I go for this Genji? Do I go for this ball, right? And let me tell you, you ask any Diva player right now, and you ask them, okay, what's the hardest thing about Diva? It's making a choice between 2 or 3 or 4 options. And that's the hardest thing a Diva player has to deal with. It's,
Yeah.
do I stand on my backline? Do I go cart? Do I mark Sojin? Do I mark Genji? Do I mark Bull, right? Like, what do I do? So a combination of those things are really important to force Diva to fly away. So we'll see here. Because again, boost is the key cue. Or more so specifically, forcing this person to fuck off with boosters, right? Because obviously, if she boosts the high ground, you can't OC that because she's on high grounds, right? So we'll see what happens. Okay, we just sure, right? This is aware of it, right? So she drops cart for some reason. I don't know why.
No, that's her
What?
being 3-6. I can't explain it either. She just goes down.
She got booped. Didn't she get booped?
Booped. Okay, sure, right? So that can work, right? Maybe it's, I don't know, like a brain damage thing. I don't fucking know. But like, sure, right? It works at the end of the day, right? So we go backline, and frankly, anyways, right? If you go backline, Diva should go for Honor. She should, right? So like, macro wise on paper, yeah, right. Like there we go. Right? It's way too late. Like it's 3-6, right? So like, the rally's way too late. Diva's way too late. But like now we can start thinking about OC. Now, of course, they've got rally, right? So you might want to be a little bit careful about that. But stuff like this, that's really important to know how to play into Diva against. Again, that fight, you guys kind of got lucky. You booped her off. You booped her into the back of an airship, and she got off the high grounds. So yeah, that was a little bit unintentional, maybe, perhaps. But again, it's important to know how to play into Diva. If win con is especially the Anana OC, or your Soch in some kind of way. Okay, my brig. This is gonna be like off the board. Okay. Whoa, we. Oh, okay. I just had facepalm. IRL. I don't know why we're bashing
I think I
into a
heard the
rally.
smack.
I don't quite know why. My Genji and my ball are safe. They're chilling. My ball is like half HP. He's chilling. Genji's chilling. They're on high grounds. I don't quite know why we're bashing into an airship into a rally. In fact, that's conducive to what they're doing. So, again, really questionable positional move by your brig.
That gave me anxiety too. Yeah.
That's kind of tough. Okay. Okay. We'll get into that in a moment. Okay, wait, hang on. Whoa, so many things are going on right now. Holy shit. Okay. So, like, your bull goes to Sombra. Let me go back over a little bit. Because, like, 5 billion things happen. Let me just get to your bull's POV. Okay, sure. We force the Valley. We drop down on cart. We force cart. Fine. Fine. Okay, we're so greedy. Okay, Sombra should never die here. Let me get that straight out of the way. Okay, she should have Transcater here. She got it into, right? Like she should be fine here. And her brig's still alive. So against a better team, she'll live for this. But what should he be doing right now?
Playing cover.
Yes,
Knowing
chill.
that she
The
can't
fuck out.
die, just play my HP.
Yeah, just chill. Just force cart and chill. Force Diva to come to you, right? That's all you really want to do. And if these guys really heavily trade and heavily push your backline, then grapple up and punish them, right? Chase the tail, is the saying. So grapple up and punish their brig if their brig bashes onto your honor and your Soch, of course, right? But barring that, you can just AFK and just like this person's doing fuck all. Like how is this person threatening anyone on your team? They're not. So you don't need to do anything. This person's in the most passive position of their life. You don't need to do anything against this person, right? Just chill, right? And again, I think it's really it's so important to know when to do this, right? Like you're in a 5v4 right now, and there's no triggers for you to push the Sombra. There's really no triggers to do this. Like she's not playing aggressively. She's not out of position. She probably has Translocator if you are guesstimating in the game. You're half HP, right? You're less than half HP actually. There's no triggers for this, right? So again, push, slowly, chill the fuck out. I do not want to see you guys lose a 5v4 when you kill an Ana, right? That's insane. But yeah, just chill out. It's like I can need to emphasize how important it is. And someone needs to say chill out or chillax or play slowly or push slowly in a 5v4 because it's driving me insane the amount of times I've seen it in like the last 5 years. This is like an conducive of that. Okay, so my bull low-key kind of feeds.
Every
And
time
then
that
the
we
honor
get
nano
one
boost
kill,
is
we
a
just say,
domino
let's
effect of
go.
our ball feeding. So a nano gets wasted here. Unfortunate, right? Now the good news is that we've got positioning, right? We've got a good position to play. Our Soldiers is in a really good position. Hopefully, again, micro is to rotate here and kill Brig, right? Obviously. So we might not be able to see that, right? So that's just micro, that's not communication. That's just, hey, can we rotate here? Mid-fight rotation, push Brig, easy kill. But Brig here, that's what I'm scared about because now we're alone with no, again, support on cart because my ball just died and no nano boost. So I'm a little bit scared here, to say the least. Bit scary. Okay, Diva gets forced out. Okay, okay. No
think they
touch.
see
No
nine.
touch. Jesus Christ. Okay, now then Nano Diva as well. Oh my days. See, that was like again a very scuffed touch, right? Like your ball breeding a 5v4 and your Brig getting split off cart and front backing a Diva when they're kind of alone and their ball's dead is very worrying. So yeah, again, I guess the main thing here is that if someone is your backline, i.e. your Honor, needs to be calling rotations. If your Brig's not going to do it, and someone needs to be calling to play slow on 5v4s because again, I don't want to see someone dying in a 5v4. Barring that, again, I think that the start of the fight was initially good. Right, we forced out Diva. It looked good at the beginning, even though that might be accidental. Okay, sure they can get trades. I don't give it. I don't really care. I don't care. We got the point. Was that Diva out? Nice. Sure. Cool, Leo. Alright, see. Okay. Sure. Sure. Okay. 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 So now we've got it again playing against EMP here again, right? What are some things you can maybe do? Very general, broad question.
Spread out.
Yeah, you can spread out. I mean, my worry there is
Or-
that if you spread out too much, then you'll get solidly impeded and die. So
Mm.
like, you have to be very careful spreading out. It works in ranked a lot of the time because people are split in ranked, but in team play, not necessarily. The times I've seen it are like back in what was it called? Sombra, Tracer, Brig Honor meta, like back in like mid 2023. Like sometimes what backlines would do against EMP is their Brig would split from their Honor, so either of them also like yeah, basically like either one of them will just get EMP'd instead of both of them. So sometimes that worked out. Sometimes as well you can push really early with Valley, and of course Valley would threaten the EMP in itself because you can get stunned out of it. So sometimes that can work too. But for like the main part, like playing split is a little bit, it can be quite risky, especially again if someone gets split off, and
Yeah.
especially if the map geometry is not very conducive to it either.
Yeah, when you have
Okay, for
four-
example, I would not be considering like your Brig splits here maybe, like your Honor Soldier just dead in this EMP. Like it's really tough on this map. But on more open maps it can definitely work, like Rialto and the Queen Street. But yeah. Actually, I'm gonna play it out here, and I'm gonna see how it pans out because again on paper you should lose this. Okay, we tried our hand at doing that. Let me see if that was a fine pathing, micro wise. Okay. Yeah, we know Sombra's main. Okay, that's fine. Like, it's better because like Sombra's not gonna hack you. I don't mind if it's like baiting, like you're just baiting like sleep dart and hack. I think that's smarter to do rather than committing pole driver and hit the high ground because you're probably gonna get slept and hacked and die. Like if you hit the high ground here, you're gonna get slept most likely, and then you're gonna get hacked and then you're gonna die. So like I would just plainly do it to bait sleep and hack. To be honest, I would pretend to go for a pole driver, then actually go for one. In other words, again, soft engaging. But yeah. Okay, so we'll see here. Because the Sombra had just TP to the backline. Okay. Sure. Yeah, and like this is the issue with playing split, is like you in theory now, your Brig should die. Or your Genji, other one.
That's what I was
Yes,
worried
right,
about
like-
when I saw Split. Was that?
Yeah, it's like it's tough. It's why playing split isn't always like the best thing to do because that will just happen, right? They'll just push an angle really quickly and you'll just die immediately. So, how do I phrase this? Hmm. Where should I brig? Where should I? Okay, where should our Brig and Genji be playing? How can we bait the EMP here?
We could just have the Brig playing more forward, like in a better position with Yana, because Genji could push cart, get EMP'd by himself, and then get packed out.
Hmm. Right, so like our Genji can just stay where he is, stay caught. Our Brick can go with our Surge and our Honor instead. And then if they EMP our Genji, if you've got hands and you've got good reaction times, you can dash out to your backline. You should be okay. And of course, if they EMP your backline, well, these guys are way too far away, and you guys can peel for each other, so you should be okay. In
Yeah.
other words, also this is a nice bunkering position to play here as well, because this back end of the map is a wall, a big fat wall. So no one can, of course, come behind you really. Of course, they can maybe like come behind here underneath, maybe to potentially, maybe, but I doubt an Echo's gonna be here anytime soon. You know, so I think you'll be fine during the actual EMP itself.
I was thinking
So
right
that's just how
here.
well we're playing
If
and how we're
Genji
positioning on this
gets
map
EMP'd
against
on
EMP.
cart, no, we don't really care. But they're gonna go
But
for
yeah,
a juicy
again, that's
EMP
a
on
very
Genji and Brig,
traditional
and it's
bait kind
gonna
of thing
work.
to do, right? You have your front line really
Because
far up,
Brig's gonna
your back
die.
line plays really far away in like a bunkered, cornered off position, and then the front line will apply some kind of aggression or some kind of pressure, as we've talked about beforehand. Hell, maybe you can even OC, right? And that could bait them to go for an EMP. That could work as well, right? So again, many options that you have there. Okay, we'll see here next, because you guys are gonna get second. Yeah. I mean, they use duplicate for it for some reason, so bonus off the board. But you guys get held here. When they're down, both their DPS ults. You use 0 for 2. So this should be the fight to win. We'll see what goes wrong. Okay, we'll zoom out a little bit. Hang on. Okay. Sure, okay. Little bit split, but I'm not going to care about that too much. My ball's staging fairly well. Again, he's in a good position. So far, so good. I think this is fairly okay. 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 Timing slightly off because we have to use deflect before our ball went in, so again, your timing slightly off, but it should be okay. Sure. And again, now we're like almost baiting the Ziva again, right? Do I fly onto the Genji? Do I fly onto the ball? Do I stay caught and sort of mark off the brig, or do I go for the Sojourn and try and mark our angle? So this is again fairly decent, right? All your brig needs to be doing is hard baiting and playing really slow and making sure you don't get traded out by Echo, Sombra, or Diva. So it's really your brig I'm worried about. We have no hands. We have no hands. This is really unfortunate. So like we just again, hang on, let me see here because your honor is so shockingly close. Okay, yeah, yeah, okay. So like you guys get off the corner, right? Can we clear this diva?
You're speaking to the backline, or to the dive that's happening, or just in general.
Or just in general, right? Like can these three characters clear a diva?
Yeah.
No,
Okay, wait. Did someone say yeah?
you go for
Yeah,
sure.
I think you can. Because if she's using Matrix, the only thing that she can do is missiles, and you have two supports, so they can sustain through the missiles. Especially with Brig, with the shield and Inspire, like you can sustain through the missiles, and then if she tries to shoot you, she can't Matrix, and then you shoot her. So ultimately, you have enough damage, enough sustain that she will have to leave before you, die or get
Right.
pushed out.
So
It's a 3v1.
I mean more so, can you clear diva from the Saigon position? Not can
The
you
high
clear
ground
diva
is
after she's
yeah.
dropped? Because then after she's dropped, then she's gonna be forced to leave anyways. Regardless of what you really do. But can you clear diva from the Saigon position? Can you get
No.
it off here? No, you can't. Right.
I was
Again, you
wondering
haven't got enough
that.
damage. Your backhand's not got enough damage, and you just can't reach her. Right. So the second option is stay away from her. Play as far away as you can from that diva. I want my backline playing here right now. Your break can be the bait a little bit. You can walk up a little bit, right, if you really want to. But I need my Soldier Honor playing here. Get away from that diva. Otherwise, she's going to drop onto you and blow you up, like she did to your Honor. So
I was actually worried
again,
about that at the time, but I still kind of went for our rotation because
right,
that was like a
right.
default.
Right. So like again, maybe if you're capping, you just cap second, and then you want to go under, then that's fine, right? Because the D.Va's not playing up here. But if you can't, this D.Va's like the bodyguard, like the troll under the bridge almost.
Yeah.
Where like she's stopping you from doing this rotation, and if you go for the rotation, right, she'll punish you for it, and so will Sombra, and so will Echo too, right? And again, you can bait that, right? You can just play really far back, and your Brig can just force cart and play the cover, and then you can hard bait that. She's forced to make a move. She's forced to drop that because of the point pressure. So yeah, that's what you guys can do there instead. Okay. Of course, your other option is like you can like in theory go all the way around and rotate like this and then clear. Like you can do that as well, but again, it's longer and you're not forcing cart during it, so I wouldn't bother. But yeah. Okay. So let your point pressure do the hard work for you, and yeah, cause your entire back can get shredded out there. That's really not great. So yeah, Blade, Mines, and Rally, and we still almost lose that, which is not ideal. And they didn't use anything there. Okay, I do want to see a back. I mean, actually, I think a Genji called this. You guys did your job. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, we're chilling. Brick's not back yet. Okay. 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 Sure. The high ground, fine. Sure. Okay, so like again, we're just hard front to backing a D.Va Sombra, right? Playing ball, and I get it because again, you want your backline, these guys, to have this really, really, really good position for your OC and your Nana boost, right? But like again,
Yeah.
talked about that beforehand. We can't exactly do that as ball. We can't front to back a D.Va or a Sombra when they're playing really, really stacked. We need to find a split target that we can push, right? So who might we want to go on instead?
Maybe the Echo?
Go.
Or maybe just if I had more HP, like if I don't grapple onto this bridge, I just go hard in the back line and go for this Ana.
Yes, right. So soften goes into the Ana base.
Actually, is
Don't get slept, obviously, right? But like
Right.
draw this person away is kind of the big thing. Now, if they're all stacked, like if you can't go on a split target and you can't play out pressure to a squishy, right? If they're all mega stacked, then play the space around them, right? Soften, like do little hits from the side, from like here, right? Like go around them and have your backline play distance. If they're really, really clumped up, right? If the D.Va is stacking on their Brig and their Ana, then by all means play this high ground and poke them out because you will win that poke distance from afar. And then again, you can force point in the meantime, right? You can play super slow. You have D.Va stacked on their backline. But considering the split targets to go on, then by all means go into that target. Don't front the back an Echo D.Va Sombra. You will lose. Okay. And now they're farming up big EMP charge, and now there's another EMP you need to worry about.
Coast or-
And now they basically have 5
I don't
ults. Coming into this last fight, and we have 2. Which is not ideal, I will say. Okay. Sure. Did we make the same mistake as last time? Okay. 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 Okay, so the D.Va just like has no hands and does not want to go onto a backline for some reason. Sure, why not? I don't know how does she let your backline walk so far? Hello? Like she needs to be dropping right now. Right now is where she needs to be dropping. Just doesn't do it. Okay, sure, why not? Okay, we'll see here because things get a little bit messy. I'm not gonna cry about Michael for your ball for now. This looks fine to me. Okay, what do we OC here initially though? Yeah, so we're OCing nothing. Like you can't see, you just can't see anything here, right? Like the backline's inaccessible to you. All you need to do here, but you tell me, what do you need to do here after you kill Echo?
Our Soj isn't in the call either.
Okay,
We're
problem.
missing, yeah, we're missing
Walk forwards.
Yeah. Sure, yeah, okay, you can either walk forward, right? Or what else can you do? Second option. You can walk forward away from D.Va, or
turn around and shoot her.
turn around and shoot D.Va, right? If these guys are zoned away, because Big Scary Bullman has zoned these guys away, you know, Big Scary Bullman, then this person is gonna get no help. LeBron James meme. So you can just shoot this person and force them out. That's gonna give your Sojourn a ton of space to work with. So yeah, either one's fine. I prefer doing the thing about clearing D.Va here, because honestly, I wouldn't want to walk forward here to close to their spawn when they're gonna be busy respawning. So I'll just clear D.Va here. But yeah, that's the important visual cue, right? It's like, okay, after I get this kill, can I walk up? Can I clear D.Va? Where do I move to? Right? That's the clear thing. That's the key thing you need to be thinking about after you get that pivotal kill. Okay, so we all turn around and clear D.Va. Okay, let's back backlines. Okay. Okay, honestly, this is just backline macro at this point in time, right? Like, if a backline dies, then the fight's over. Like, it's just over. Let me see here. Okay, so we get baited, right? We forget there's EMP that exists, right? Of course, if you want to clear D.Va while still carrying EMP, you bash back over here and you're fine. Or again, if you want to walk forward here, you walk forward past the EMP, right? And then of course, you'll be fine as well. So, there's a slight micro, then again, not forgetting they've got EMP. And again, play slow after you get a pick, because this shit will happen to you. Okay. In fairness, that one's more reasonable to lose because Nano and EMP is hard to live, but still. A more disciplined backline won't get shredded out there. And now, of course, you're going to lose the long fight because your backline's dead. But yeah, okay, we'll do a quick summary here. And yeah, we'll answer any questions that you guys may have. Okay. First thing. Okay, I'm gonna make it like very obvious. Someone on your backline needs to be making calls. Like backline. I'll call it like rotate calls mostly. Rotate calls. So like again, there are three key examples, pretty much one on each point, right? So like first point was like I can even do this to be honest, right? First point was like dropping. Second point was like not getting splits. And third point was like baiting carts plus staying away from D.Va. Again, like your comp, right, isn't built to shoot D.Va and force her out. If you're playing Zarya, then you can do that, right? But you haven't got enough damage to just shoot a D.Va and force her out 9 times out of 10. Unless again you're the back in zone, you've got a kill already, of course. But again, those are like the three examples that I want to give, and the Honor's probably gonna have to pick up the slack for that basically. Again, you can either just say drop, right? Just use an imperative. Drop, clear. There's some kind of verb in an imperative. That's all you really need. So drop, clear, stick with me, for example, if your backline's playing splits, or push with me if you want to say that as well for the second point about making sure you're not getting split. Just like an imperative is really useful because it's just one word and it's an order, it's a command. So yeah. Second thing.
Yeah, good try.
There were timing issues. I'll say this. Also like playing into D.Va. Also into D.Va Sombra. So like again, there's the micro, right? About like again our pathing, making sure that we're not getting forced out beforehand. Again, that mainly goes for the Genji on ball. You know, the dynamite from the Genji, and then the ball like swinging down, like where Sombra's at, and you're swinging right in front of her twice. Like, of course, no shit, you're gonna get forced out. And then, of course, if you're playing against a 3-6 team, you probably should have been slept more than you were given for. Maybe it's different with the perk, right? Because I think that perk is low-key broken. But yeah, and this also links into the macro bit here too, right? About how like again, either applying pressure to force boosters. I'm purposely keeping it vague with the whole pressure thing. It could be point pressure, it could be pressure from onto squishies, right? It could be soft engage pressure, it could be any kind of pressure. But applying pressure such that it forces boosters. And that's gonna give you surge space. And then last thing, I would just say timings. Timings. Like on first points. The Genji out. Ball in. And SA5 equals tier 2 as well. Just saying push slowly / safely / cautiously Um, and make sure, or rather minimize how tradable you are.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah. Okay. Any questions or queries? Or things or stuff?
Well, something is that when we get all this information and we know things that we need to improve on, we don't know exactly the first step to applying it always.
Right, right. I think like the some of it will just be like, of course, micro-wise, it's on your guys' like individual, responsibility to do and withhold. So again, like whether that's your Genji getting forced out or whether it's your ball swinging in front of a Sombra, like that's individual stuff that you guys can work on separately. As for like community, like the first point, for example, about your backline not getting split, all it really takes, and this is what I say, right? So like, there's like, I'm not sure you guys read this book before called Atomic Habits. It's like a very famous book. Um, it's like a four-step like routine, or yeah, I guess it's a routine, right? Or a four-step way of how habits are formed, both good and bad.
Oh yeah.
It goes from cue to craving to rewards, and then you repeat your behavior. So, to give an example, again, this applies for both good and bad behaviors. But, for example, I was coaching a bronze Reinhardt a few years ago, and he had a really bad habit of pinning into the back. This is before like pin cancel was a thing as well. He had a really bad habit of pinning into backlines, and I asked him why, and he said, "Well, half the time I get a reward for doing so." So what that habit looked like was he would see the backline as his cue. He would get a craving for kills, right?
Yeah.
He'd get a reward half the time, or more than half the time, he'd get a kill. So he'd actually like win a fight, I guess you can say. Win a fight, or actually get the kills, and then he'd repeat the behavior. So that's how bad habits are formed. Now, the way you get good habits to form is by introducing cues that are really important to pay attention to, and minimizing or ignoring the cues that start bad habits or recontextualizing them in a way. So the work I did with him was mainly, well, okay, when you see the backline, that needs to change in terms of how you perceive the backline. That's not a trigger for you to be able to pin. And I think for you guys, especially that first example about dropping, there's like so many visual elements that tell you that I should be able to call that. And it's this sort of when people talk about game sense and coaches talk about game sense, this is kind of what they mean in a detailed sense. It's like again the HP, right? It's the what do you call it? Again, all the five things I just mentioned. Right? I'm not going to list them out here, but it's like your attention to detail to spot these things and actually visually see them. And you guys can spot them because you can see them on your screen. They're literally on your screen that tell you to do this thing next time. So that, again, for example, right? I don't think your Brig player in the game quite knew or had the sense or had the feeling, had the gut instinct to drop down, and as a result, never caught it. But obviously now that's going to be more of a thing that's going to come up. The other way of doing it is through, I hate saying this, but like forming up like a, again, it's just like a psychology word for it called schema, or other words are just framework, template, routine, or schema. Schema is just again like a I guess it's all just it's a psychological word for templates. And you build those up over time. So like it's going to take time, conscious effort on your behalf to again call, for example, drop low grounds when you see Diva has no boosters. Or you see again the sugars, right? It's going to be on your behalf consciously to form up the schema over time to get into the habits of saying, okay, Brig, push with me here, or drop down with me here, or thinking of another call in my head, bait their diva, or play slow is a 5v4, or play slow, they've got EMP, right? Or play distance because they have EMP, right? Whatever the case may be. It's going to take like conscious effort on your behalf of like repeating that over and over and over again for you to get used to that naturally. It's kind of like going to the gym. Like for the first time, you need to put conscious effort in terms of your form, like where like maybe you're doing bench press and you're thinking about your hand placement on the bar, you're thinking about your foot placement, how wide your body's apart, like all that kind of stuff is really important to think about. But over time, you just get muscle memory. It's kind of the
Mm.
same thing here in Overwatch. So it's a very long-winded answer because it's a more of a cognitive, psychological thing about applying the stuff to the game itself. Because again, it can be hard to do. But take it step by step is the first thing I'd say. And and when I say step by step, I mean focus on one thing at a moment, right? Like it could just be for you playing Honor. It could just be like again calling a drop when you see stuff. Could be that simple, right? It could just be okay. I see my brig, the visual cue. I see my brig is like 10 trillion years away. I'm going to shout at my brig and tell them to pull back. Well, not shout at your brig, right? But tell them to pull back, right? It's that visual stuff that's really important to pay attention to, and that will inform what you say. And that's just one part of the game. I've used the examples I've used just there. I've been communicative. It's been talkative. Of course, there's other examples again, like your bull feeding, or your Genji getting poked out by dynamite, and things like that too. But that's a very long-winded answer, basically, about how to actually improve at the game. Um, and it's going to require conscious effort, but over time, you'll build up the habit such that it becomes second nature to you. Um, but
Mhm.
but yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Anything else? Or is that all?
I'm trying
Sounds
to figure out the phrasing on this question because it's like the splitness of our positions. Like I feel like part of that is like inherent to ball comps or like dive comps, but I also feel like a lot of the domino mistakes that you're talking about come from like people playing split as
valid.
well. So I guess the question,
Mm.
no, it's not really a question because it's like we should be able to keep each other on the same page even if we're playing split
I mean, if
because
it
that's what comps are
helps,
for.
I mean, like to be honest, like the whole split thing, you're playing Brick Honor. Like you can hold your ground essentially in this sort of like backline comp. You can hold your ground, you can hold your space. Lucio Kiri you can't. So that's why you flip maps a ton of the time. And then if you're running like Moyo Kiri, hell, I don't know, you might guess want to try this, who knows, or even Wuyan Kiri. You could like that's where you play like really hyper
Oh.
split, and that's the whole Bullcom thing about playing hyper split. You're also not running a tracer, so again, you're gonna have less mobility to play split in the first place. But it comes down to your backline in terms of like okay, ball comp is supposed to play split, but you historically look at ball comps or recent ball comps, right? And they've been played with very split backlines and very split DPS lines. Moira Kiri being one of them. I think again Frosttail or Dildux played that in OWCS last stage, like a Moira Kiri Ball, Tracer Sojin or Tracer Cassidy, something like that, as a hyper split comp. Or it could be like Tracer Genji for example is another example of that. Wii Kiri, of course, the most recent stuff that we've seen in Korea. Um, but yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
what you said helped me rephrase the question. Like the level of splitness that we have, is that inherently like bad? Do we need to be playing more together, or does the splitness become a problem because we don't know what each other is thinking?
The latter is the answer. Yeah, the latter is the
Yeah.
answer to that question, right? Like it's like I don't want to see your Soj like in fucking Narnia, or I don't want to see. I mean, we saw this game specifically, right? We saw your Brig and Ana being Narnia, right? And like, oh, we're playing Balkan. We're supposed to play Split, but my Brig plays Split and she dies, because she's Brig and she's not Moira. She can't hold her own angle. She can't hold her space. Like literally, if you go back to that fight with your Brig died on second point, if that was a Moira, that becomes a completely different story because a Moira can just bounce heal up and down in the actual room itself and hold her ground, but Brig can't do that. So it's based on the character. And then again, that what is part of the reasons to
Okay.
why is it's the
So
latter in your answer.
it is really just a comp. It's not that we need to be.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's awareness. It's like it's not that we have to be playing more together, but we need to be aware of where each other
Exactly,
are
right. You'd be
when
aware
we're
what you're
being
playing,
split.
right? Yeah. I will say you can take like softer angles, so like again, your Soj can be like maybe be here and your Brigona can be here. That's fine. So LOS is really important too. But barring that, like yeah, you're not gonna be playing hyper split into like with Brigona Soj anytime soon, really. Um, but yeah, I mean, okay, the only other time I can think of, the only other caveat is if you're playing into like Ryan fucking um like literally the Twisted Minds versus Crazy Raccoons match, like on Blizzard World. Unless you're playing into like a Twisted Minds comp, there is no reason to be that split. Um, but yeah. Anything else?
No, I think that's it then.
I think so. I
Cool.
guess.
No worries. Well, I'll get I'll get this to you guys. I'll get this to Rick, so then he can share that with you guys, so you can watch back your spare pace.
Yeah.
And of course, as usual, any other questions you can DM me. And yeah, good luck in your next Face It games. And yeah,
Thank you so much, Kidger.
I get
no worries.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Good questionable.
Yui. The Kajor guy.
Um, we've got a match tomorrow, and then we're gonna scrim on Thursday.
Okay.
I'm gonna queue for cop if anybody wants to join.
Sure.
Oh, by the way, the MST Esports League. That was a tournament that someone invited me to when I was looking for the warm-up scrim.
Warm-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you posted about it. Right? That's the one that you posted about?
Yeah.
I think we're in favor of joining that. So you could give them my contact info or register us, one of the two. I mean, the registration
Yeah,
will
we
be
have a
there
lot of time
October,
to
so
decide.
like a month.
But yeah, I could sign us up for that.
Let's go.
Boy.
Are you gonna hop on Captain Levi, Peachy?
No, my Wi-Fi's not back, bro.
Oh, is
Like,
that
that
why
was-
you left?
Yes, bro. That
Oh,
was so
okay.
annoying.
I
After
was
restarting my
like, shoot,
PC,
he's fed up with it. But no, your Wi-Fi. I
and
think
then still didn't come back, so I just joined on my phone.
understandable.
Yeah.
Lucia said he had homework, and Max said he had
Oh
homework
my
too.
god, bro.
They both DM'd me after I pinged the team, and they were like, "I got homework." I was like, "Guys,
Well, school's back in.
yeah." But we needed them here so that they could get cooked by Kajor too.
Literally.
I did not get cooked by Kajor because I wasn't in for the
We
VOD.
did.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought it would be more like VODs. Like we would look over more games instead of just one per session.
He's really thorough, so he kind of uses up his time. We only have him for an hour,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
so he doesn't offer like 2-hour sessions. He probably gets burnt out though after he talks like that for a whole hour. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, in theory, you might be able to like sign up for 2 sessions back to back.
Oh, damn.
I guess you could book it that way, but he might veto it.
Yeah,
I
I
guess
don't
it
know.
depends. He
Oh,
might
yeah.
like be like, "Can you please not?"
Never hurts to ask. He's pretty open.
Yeah, he is. What is this ugly skin that I just
There's
got in
also
this loot box?
2-hour
Cyber
scrims,
Lucio.
like,
What?
if they're gonna VOD for scrim. Of course, that's not 2 hours of straight talking, but yeah. I think it's kind of like an hour and a half is the magic time.
Where are you, Jar?
'Cause I find that like the
So
I
what
don't
did
know,
we learn
2
from
hours
the
is always
VOD?
like a little bit too much, but then 1 hour is
I
always too
learned
short.
I use my deflect so fast, bro.
The half hour can have so much
Like,
extra
oh my
gold in it.
goodness.
And we did kind of go over because he said he
I
usually
I think it's
mean-
one of
first,
those
so.
things where we.
We didn't
We
use our
only,
GM
like-
brains.
Yeah.
It's okay, I'm jam.
We were not locked in. I did front to back their comp with my dives too soon. Way too soon. And then our alt fights are actually really scuffed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
We either
I only
overall
bladed that. I only
or we
bladed
under
that
alt.
because like I dashed out, so I just I'm not gonna dash in unless Like I could have waited for
Oh my
that.
god, I hate getting a nano right when I disengage and have no cooldowns. It's the
That's what
worst
I'm
feeling.
saying. Like
I did it you personally because you were just burning and you were 1 HP, and we already planned to like use Nano Blade at some point in that fight.
That's something
So
else that I
it's a bit
think we
of
could
a
take away
just
is
a
we need
trigger.
to be willing to let go of the plan.
Yeah.
Like to just just to like make a different call
He
altogether.
was talking about how things can change to that 3-2-1. Our plans are
yeah,
made even before a 3-2-1.
Well, I figure we lose the fight if we don't Nano Blade. Like not using anything there also means an automatic loss in a way. But I guess he said that it was already looking good.
Yeah, because I picked the Ana off your nade. Your nade was really good, and Brig was still antied.
yeah,
So he was like, Nanoing Genji should be fine. And if Peachy played cover better, you don't even have to nano him because he's not on fire.
yeah. Like
I was
that
thinking,
was my fault.
I
I took too
remember
much poke.
I didn't even think you had Blade yet. So Nano was all I was thinking of basically. I was like, oh, you
Bro
do
literally
have
just
Blade,
got
so you're gonna kill the whole team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a
I
pleasant
think
I
got
just
surprise.
it for the
watched
dash
it.
reset.
yeah.
Because your nano
Only for
encouraged him
that
to go
dash
in
reset.
again. So then he needed his dash back. So, like you
Yeah,
said,
like
it's
I
like the
need.
domino effect.
I tried to re-domino it.
Bad positioning leads to bad cooldown usage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You say bad positioning me?
Yes.
Incorrect, my friend.
Face it.
Incorrect.
Face it. We're playing and face it.
I'm GM after
You
all.
gotta face it.
He is GM. Yo, check my stats for this season, Vici. I'm
Ah,
actually
this
going
rings
crazy
the
right now.
what?
Mine are not going crazy.
Oh, you
What am
can
I
see the
looking
numbers
at?
I was almost
are.
plateau
Yeah,
and then I went on a big
I knew
loss
that.
streak.
Like, this is like
Profiles and
career
stuff.
high for like my off rolls. Like I've usually
No way.
like,
Oh, the elo boost is insane, bro. What the fuck?
yeah, for real. I gotta get corrected. Could you like throw my games for me a bit? Because
I got you,
I'm
bro.
feeling myself too much right now. Like,
I'm feeling
Yep.
the
Masters
opposite.
on everything. I'm
I'm
telling you,
about to
bro.
be masters on everything. That's like what I'm
It's
saying. Like, I'm
so
like,
easy, bro. Support has to be the easiest role I've laid my eyes on ever, bro.
low
As
key.
well as
At least in
tank.
Bro,
comp.
I'm like doing so
That's
horribly
what I'm
this
saying.
season.
Yeah, I need like one win here, and then I need like I'm
Oh
still in
wow.
calibration on support. So one more win will put me here. I'll be like almost masters 5 on every roll.
I don't think you
Yeah.
need. Oh, do you still need the code or whatever? Okay.
What?
What was that?
You know,
He's probably not talking to us. Probably
Yeah,
talking
he's talking to
to
someone else.
you know his blue archive, bro. He's logged in.
He's locked in. He's talking to Hasami
Yep.
about the code.
Ugh. But yeah,
Yep.
no. I've been like
Oh
struggling
wait,
with my
what?
games.
Oh, new skins?
New
Yeah.
skins.
Mm,
Wait, that's Anna?
That's sheesh.
Wait, let me show this.
That is Anna. I might have to buy this.
that was
Oh.
pretty cool.
Okay, I should stop watching your stream because I'm also here. Oh wait, you're on DPS.
Watch point.
Watch point. Okay. Our tank wants watch
Wait,
point, which is
Everyone
Good.
for Watchpoint.
We love watch
unusual.
point.
Actually, no. This is like plat to diamond. Never mind. It is not so unusual.
This is the same map where I lost to G Fighter on my last game on support. I hate that guy. He took my SR. He took my rank up game.
If we're not gonna play Winston,
Aw,
Right.
the Winston ban on
well, if we're not
Gibraltar.
gonna play him, I don't want to go into him.
Winston's
You know?
like,
What?
he's so
Fuck.
chill
JQ's
though.
so weird. JQ.
I know.
It's
That's why Michael
weird
expand
on
Winston,
Watchpoint.
because if we're not gonna play a dive tank, we should ban the dive tanks to force a Bromir.
She wants to
Because
ban
people wanna brawl.
all in Sombra. That's actually crazy.
I saw
And
people like ban like Winston and Diva and Anna all on one Gibraltar match. It's like, what's the point anymore?
yeah, I bet the
Yeah.
tank was the only one to pick the other map. Everyone just
No,
picked
everyone on
Watchpoint.
our team chose Watchpoint for whatever reason.
We love
That's
Watchpoint.
actually crazy. A JQOTP picking Watchpoint.
Let's see. Do they have a public profile? They do not. They are, yeah, JQOTP.
Rex, gonna ask you something, bro.
What's up?
What rank is G Fighter?
GM5, GM4.
Is that low?
He peaked
That's
GM3
it.
last season.
That's it.
But yeah, he's not champ.
Oh damn, bro. I thought I lost to a champ player, bro. I'm
No,
not gonna lie.
you lost to a GM player.
I lost to average, just crazy.
But he's usually GM5, GM4.
His G was nasty though.
His diva? I've only really
Yeah.
seen him play Winston and Junker Queen. I know his Queen's good. And his Winston, like, that's the hero he spent the most time on. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
As
No,
well.
this one's bad.
can
Goodbye,
we break his
stream.
wall behind me, please?
And you're-
Help me!
Shit, man. You're flinching, bro.
I guess so.
That was good.
You did lose
It's
the
like we're on
15-year-old.
ball.
Goodbye.
It's like we're on ball.